Hello and welcome to your daily crypto news. So before we go further, as always, smash that like button. Make sure you guys go ahead and click subscribe. Tomorrow we're starting our new contest. It's going to run for 3 weeks, and at the end of it we're going to be giving not only a cold storage wallet, a Ledger Nano, but we're also going to put 50 bucks of cryptocurrency on it for you. So you get to choose the crypto as long as it is compatible with the Ledger. Okay, so let's jump into the markets today. The market cap is down. It is 336 billion. Bitcoin dominance has fallen 38.3. So some people are predicting that we could see a mini alt season because it seems like Bitcoin is in some sideways action right now. It's kind of stabilized. It's not continuing to drop. It's been around the same number for a little bit now. So, and we see that as you look in the top 10, you see that 7 out of the top 10 are gainers while Bitcoin is down, even though it is just slightly. So that is something to keep an eye on. So let's start with the biggest losers of the day. Skycoin, after it had a pump for, gosh, that looks like a pump and dump, doesn't it? When you look at the chart, that looks like a pump and dump. A mini Bart Simpson. Looks more like Batman. But anyways, so it looks like a pump and dump on Skycoin is down 20%. Nothing else down more than 3%. Decred, Dogecoin, Dragon Chain, all down, but not by very much. So really Skycoin, the only big loser today. Now let's go to the winners. So Bitcoin Private is up 37%, and that is thanks to a McAfee shill. Mick Shill, if you will. He is shilling this coin right now, and as you can see, it has really gone up quite a bit in just a short period of time. That's the power of John McAfee. Is it worth it for them to pay him $100,000? I bet it probably is worth it for this pump right here. Now, it probably will go back down, but, you know, that's the name of the game. So, Mixin, EOS. EOS is up about 10%. I've heard, I haven't actually seen it, that there is a possible big announcement coming soon regarding EOS. That's most likely why it is pumping. So, the big story of the day, U.S. launches criminal probe into Bitcoin price manipulation. So, the Justice Department has opened a criminal probe into whether traders are manipulating the price of Bitcoin and other digital currencies, dramatically ratcheting up U.S. scrutiny of red-hot markets that critics say are rife with misconduct, according to 4 people familiar with the matter. So this is an official investigation, and I'm not sure how they plan on finding these people. And right here it says the limited oversight of crypto trading makes it a target for crooks, said John Griffin. There's very little monitoring of manipulative trading, spoofing, and wash trading. It would be easy to spoof this market. So, you know, I'll be honest with you guys, when I first got into cryptocurrency, I didn't know pump and dumps were a bad thing. I thought that was just what, you know, people did. I was getting asked to join all these groups all the time. They were always, you know, doing the pump and dumps on Cryptopia because it's easier to do there because they've got this chat system and all this. And then all of a sudden I figured out nobody's supposed to be doing it. So I never actually participated. I did try to participate one time, but I found like I was way over my head when I first started trading. And I'm glad I didn't. But it's just something I don't think people realize how bad these pump and dumps are, because while some people are profiting, a lot of other people are losing a ton of money, and it's market manipulation. So I think the regulation of having someone to kind of safeguard this would be good. I just don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how they're going to find these pump and dumpers, because as we know, the nature of cryptocurrency is somewhat anonymous. They can be tracked down, but they would really have to find someone to target in order to do it. So Coinbase, a Bitcoin startup spreading its bets to dominate cryptocurrency economy. So Coinbase rode the Bitcoin boom from $150 billion in assets being traded across 20 million different customers. It hit $1 billion in 2017 in revenue. So I thought this point was interesting. It says, we think this can unlock, and what they're referring to is they launched 4 new products: Coinbase Custody, Coinbase Markets, the Coinbase Institutional Coverage Group, and Coinbase Prime. So it says, we think this can unlock $10 billion of institutional investor money sitting on the sideline. Adam White, Coinbase's vice president and general manager, told CNBC, we're seeing a rapid increase in attention, awareness, and adoption in the cryptocurrency market. It doesn't feel that way. And this is what really speaks to the market manipulation, because it seems like everything we see is good, and there's a lot of bullish news, but yet the markets seem to stay down. So very interesting. So the Marshall Islands replaced the US dollar with its own cryptocurrency. So why is this important? So the bill was signed into effect on March 1st, but the news is making waves again this week. It's an island, waves, anyways. The Marshall Islands population is 53,066, so the change doesn't affect many. But it is significant for citizens of the island because banks and credit card companies will need to begin accepting it. So a very sneaky possible entrance into adoption and mainstream, the Marshall Islands. It's kind of like if one state, I look back at gay marriage, like one state recognized it. Now, if someone got married there and moved back to their home state, then that state also had to recognize it. So I kind of see this as almost the same thing in terms of, the Marshall Islands are very small, but they accept it, and it's their currency now. So they have to make payments to banks and credit cards and other places. So now those places are going to have to figure out how to take it. So only 53,000 people, but it will be something to keep your eye on. Another country, Zimbabwe. So Zimbabwe, the bank there, the ban on cryptos is lifted by the High Court. The Ministry of Justice is alive and well in this jurisdiction. Section 68 of the Constitution is our best friend. And I would say let's look for America. In America, I think cryptocurrency could be heading to the Supreme Court at some point if our government's actually been very friendly towards cryptocurrency so far, but I'm not sure exactly why. It doesn't seem to make sense. Maybe because they just figure, it's another place they can get tax money from. But if they ever did, we also could be heading to court over it. And it would be very interesting to hear some of the arguments. I'm sure in the future we will definitely see a lot of legislative and legal cases regarding cryptocurrency. Italian court, another court story, rules bankrupt crypto exchange BitGrail must stay closed. As you guys know, that was involved in the Rayblox hack a couple months ago or several months ago now. And I think the price of that is still affecting Nano to this day. They never seem to recover after that hack. It went up at some point, had a little spike, but it's had trouble going. I wonder if it's, I think somebody lost $17 million in that hack. So that would certainly burn you quite a bit. Or that was the total amount, but somebody lost over $1 million. So that was probably that's big enough to change the price for Rayblox at the time. So anyways, they will have to stay closed. I don't know what they're going to do, but, they might try to rebrand or, start a new company. I'm not sure. It'd be interesting to watch. Circle gets a $110 million investment from Bitmain, plans next USD Tether. We've talked about this a few times. That Circle is one that is on my radar. I believe they will probably do it right. It's a big reputable company. Bitmain has now decided they want to invest $110 million into the project. So Bitmain is really starting to spread out and do more things than just mining. So very interesting to also watch what role they're going to have to play in the future of crypto. UN, the United Nations Office for Project Services, has now decided to partner with IOTA. Just another big partnership. Told you guys on my review of IOTA. I told you guys on my video where I predict it'll be in the top 10. It will be, I think I put it at number 6 or 7 in the top 10 for the end of 2019. And our video, you can check that one out on our Corner Review playlist. And, their marketing team's incredible. And that's one reason they just keep coming up with new partnerships. And so the tweet said that IOTA teams up with UN Ops to utilize DLT for transparency in the important work the UN is conducting around the globe. So this is just a project that continues to fascinate me, and I'm really excited to see where it's going to go. Interesting story coming from the Bitcoin private subreddit on Reddit. Basically, they kicked out their lead developer. His name was Rhett. They decided to split ways for good. And apparently Rhett came back in and had the password to the main account on the subreddit, and he has taken it over. He has tried to expose the developers and the other team members at Bitcoin Private as frauds, but of course, if you had a nasty split with someone, that is obviously what you would say to protect yourself, or maybe just throw them under the bus because you're mad. But maybe it's legit, maybe he decided to leave because of that. So it's hard to know. But they now have a new subreddit called BTC_private. So, of course, they're telling everybody to stay away from the main one. All their mods got banned, so just interesting story. Origin Trail, which, by the way, thank you to the people on the subreddit, I have discovered has absolutely nothing to do with the Oregon Trail, and I'm very sad about it. Some people think they should change the name because, I understand the G in Origin is a soft G. I understand that. I know what the word origin is, obviously. But you could mispronounce it Oregon Trail. So they may be heading for a rebrand at some point. Maybe they don't care. I think this is an Asian project. So I don't know if, I don't think the Oregon Trail was big in Asia. So, okay, so they had an interview with their advisor, Anthony Lay, or Lee, possibly, I think it's Lay. And I want to highlight this part. So what are the main benefits of the protocol and what long-term potential do you see in Origin Trail for the fintech sector? The supply chain protocol can be applied to other areas and even beyond. In supply chain finance and trade finance, currently the processes and documentation in trade finance are very manual and prone to fraud. It is a big area to tackle as we need to get the banks and logistics partners to work together. Nevertheless, I believe banks are also conducting their testing on their own private blockchains, which I would agree with, but these efforts are fragmented at best, and we need a neutral party such as Origin Trail to come in to provide standardized protocols and make it easier for participants to adapt and work together. So Origin Trail is a supply chain cryptocurrency. It's one I'm very interested in. I want to learn more about. It has had a lot of partners already. I saw someone say they partnered with everything, but I think that's actually a company. I don't think they literally partnered with everything because they haven't talked to me yet. But, okay, so let's move on. HOLO, the evolution of cloud computing. So I found this little story that just kind of goes over the overview of HOLO. It is the evolution of cloud computing. They talk about the value proposition, why you should participate, HOLO currency pricing, how is HOT related to HOLO fuel, and Matt Snarky takeaway. But the one thing I want to highlight is just I want to explain to you guys what this project basically is and why it's important going forward. So we keep talking about sharing community and how it relates to like solar power. We've talked about a few times. We talk about Airbnb, for instance, or Uber. Odyssey Coin is trying to create sharing communities. That's the whole point of that coin. And so what are sharing communities? It's where we take what we don't use and we share it. So HOLO is very similar to Golem in that they want to rent out basically your extra capacity on your computer. So it's a very interesting concept, and it's going to be interesting to see which, maybe Golem is the one, maybe HOLO is the one. HOLO, I believe, is also on the storage side of things. I think Golem is more just for computer power, but I could be wrong. Maybe they're both doing both. You guys let me know if you know in the comments below. But very interesting to watch this project because we know Golem has done very well in cryptocurrency. It is in the top 100. And so, it'd be interesting to see where HOLO goes. It's also in the top 100, I believe. But just want to keep your eye on. So PayPal will definitely support Bitcoin if it becomes better currency. So basically what PayPal is saying here is that the people that use their business platform to, accept money through online stores or whatever, they don't have a big enough demand yet of people saying, hey, I would like to enter into cryptocurrency. I want someone to be able to buy this. And the reason is because they could make a 15% profit on a sale, and the next day Bitcoin or whatever crypto drops 15%, and now they're underwater on the sale. And I think it would have something to do with, keeping your orders, your supply orders and things like that up. Like if you're waiting to make a new order and yet all of a sudden the price drops and your value all of a sudden goes lower than what you can afford on your next order, I can see how that would be a problem. I think for people who make handmade items and things like that, it could be very useful. But of course, I think the whole premise of this is the whole premise of that thinking is silly in a way because, of course, I believe Bitcoin is going to go up to 6 figures easily, if not higher, over the next couple years, if not sooner than that. So, but thinking short term, I get it. Your money's down. You can't make an order, so you're not interested in taking cryptocurrency. I get the mindset. I hope we will see that change over time. So that is all the news today. We went over a ton of stories. There hasn't been a ton of altcoin news out there lately, and I think the reason for that is they're all kind of waiting for the alts to start to break out so they can release their good news, so their pumps become higher and everything like that. So we'll just have to see. But hit that subscribe button, smash that like button. Thanks for watching. That was your Daily Crypto News.